So I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time, but every time that I attempt to make it, it becomes too laborious and too long-winded. To solve this, I've decided to break this up into a series of videos that I've entitled as Handgun Basics. I get this question all the time: what should be my first handgun purchase? The answer to this is kind of complicated because there are many factors involved in choosing the right handgun, and most of the time I don't know enough about the person asking the question to effectively give the answer. So what I want to accomplish in this series is I want to answer that question, and I also want to make this kind of a go-to reference for new and experienced handgun owners in the ins and outs of different handguns and their capabilities, features, and whatnot. So to all those watching this video right now that are thinking about buying their first handgun, okay, there are a couple things you really need to do before you spend your hard-earned cash. Number one is get your hands on some guns. Okay, the best way to do this is to go to a gun store, gun shop, and do some window shopping. Okay, most gun stores will allow you to handle their firearms, and if you're able to do that, you can get a good idea of the various sizes, shapes, weights, kind of get an idea of what feels good to you. Okay, number two is to ask questions. Okay, if you don't ask questions, you can't expect to get answers. All right. Number three is find someone with guns, preferably someone that knows what they're doing, and ask them to go shooting. Okay, say I'll pay for your ammunition. Let's go. If you don't have somebody that has guns that's willing to go with you, you can also find a range in your area that rents firearms, okay, and go and shoot. It's the best way to try before you buy. And it might even be worth your while to drive a couple hours to get to a range that does that, because that'll give you the best idea of what you're gonna like. Okay. Number four is to get professional help. So also check your local area for like a basic handgun course. All right. Usually there are some that are available, and these kind of courses can be invaluable because it's a great way to gain experience and knowledge in a controlled environment. Okay, and that's important. Number five, before you go shooting or even handle a firearm, learn the basic firearm safety rules. Okay, drill them into your head. Own these rules. Okay, because if you own a firearm or if you're handling a firearm, your level of responsibility goes way, way, way up. Okay, so you always want to be safe. And to let you know that every gun that is going to be shown in this video is safety checked. Okay, it's been safety checked before, off camera, before it starts. I'm not going to waste time doing that, so just know that every one of these have been safety checked and are free and clear. Okay, so the topics that I want to cover in the series are, okay, philosophy of use. Okay, number two, I want to cover level of competency and the user. Number three, I want to talk about size, weight, ergonomics, things like that. Number four, I want to talk about the different types of firearms, and mainly those are revolvers versus semi-automatics. Number five, okay, the fifth video, I want to talk about caliber. All right, and how that affects you, that should affect your purchase. Okay, and mixed in with these topics are going to be smaller topics and concepts, and so the gaps will be filled in as we go along. So in this video, I want to cover the most important question you can ask yourself before you buy a handgun, and that is what you want to accomplish with this gun. Okay, what is your purpose for owning it, and what is your philosophy of use? Okay, so what I've done is I've gone through and listed out different philosophies of use that I feel are valid, and you can check the description box below for a bunch of information, and in that information is a list of these. I might annotate them on the screen as well. The first philosophy of use, and probably the most commonly asked question I get, is what gun I should buy for home defense. Okay, so home defense is the first philosophy of use that I want to talk about. The second is, and is also probably the second most commonly asked, is concealed carry. What's a good concealed carry gun? Number three is range gun, target gun, or fun gun. Okay, those are kind of all in the same genre. Number four is a good training gun. Okay, number five is a good shiz hits the fan or survival handgun. That's another commonly asked question. Number 6, I believe, is a car or truck gun. What's a good car or truck gun? And lastly, what is a good good handgun for hunting? All right, so what I want to do is I want to cover and show you, cover every one of these philosophies of use and show you an example of each, okay? And then I want to talk about overlap between these different philosophies of use, okay? And how some guns are better for one philosophy of use over another, all right? So the first philosophy of use I want to cover is the home defense philosophy, because that's the one I get most asked about, is what is the best handgun for home defense. And so let me show you, let me roll in what I use for home defense, and that is the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. This is my home defense gun, okay? This is my home defense handgun. This is what I go to when something goes bump in the night, all right? So this sits on my nightstand. Why do I consider this the best home defense gun for me? Okay, is the fact that it has a very usable sight radius. Okay, the further the sights are apart, the more accurate you can be with them. Okay, because the more precise you can be, the less play there is between the sights, and it's just more concise. The other thing that I consider a great option for home defense is to have a Picatinny rail up front, and this is a M1913 rail. And it is something that you can attach a light to, okay? So you can attach a flashlight there, a laser, you can even attach a bayonet if you really wanted to. But yeah, it's something that allows for other options, okay? And a lot of people choose to go with a handgun or a handgun light that attaches to the handgun for home defense. I think that's a great idea. I choose to go with a separate flashlight, but that's just my my choice, and I can talk about that later in a different video. But the other thing I like about this gun is, in this particular case, the magazine is loaded, but the chamber is empty. We have 17 round capacity. Okay, so we have a lot of capacity. So we have 17 rounds in the mag and 1 in the chamber, so that's 18 rounds. So if I had to, use this gun, I have a lot of capability there. The other thing I like about this particular gun for a home defense gun is that I can get a full purchase on this handgun. Okay, I can get all 3 of my fingers down here on the gun. And I have just a better controllability of this gun. I want to have something that's larger in a home defense situation, just because when something goes bump at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be a little bit groggy, and you're not going to have all your facilities together. And what you want to do is you want to have something that you can purchase fully, so that or grip fully, so that you have the most control over that firearm you can. Now, training, okay, down the road can really make up a lot for, these kind of things like, full grip and stuff. But in the beginning, you want something that you have the ability to control really readily with a home defense handgun. So there's my home defense gun. Now, my wife's chosen home defense handgun is the SP101 by Ruger. This is a 38 Special or 357. In this gun, you can shoot, in the 357 Magnum, which is what it is chambered in, you can shoot 38 Special out of this as well. You cannot shoot 357 out of a 38 Special chambered gun, because the 357 Magnum is too long for the chamber. Okay, that's another topic for another video. But yeah, so this is my wife's favorite concealed gun, or a home defense gun. Now, if you can see, I can't really get my pinky on the bottom part of that grip. So what I chose to do is just stick it right on the bottom part of the grip, and that gives me the most control there. She can get her whole hand on that gun. All right, but what she likes about this gun, what she likes about revolvers in general, are that they're easy, okay? That you can just pick them up off the nightstand, you point and shoot. You don't have to deal with anything. You can do the same thing with this one. So it just kind of depends. But in my revolver versus semi-auto video, we go through and digest this topic a little bit more, the difference between the two. But she likes the fact that you can just pick it up, point, and shoot, no problems whatsoever, okay? And it's reliable, and I like this a lot. Now, she chooses to carry, or she chooses to load this up for home defense 38 Special plus P. Okay, so it's more controllable. This is a very, very heavy gun for its size because it's all stainless steel. It's a full stainless steel gun. I think it's like 25 ounces or 26 ounces, something like that. So it's very controllable with a 38 Special in it. All right. So I hope you guys get an idea of what is good for a home defense handgun. Okay. So let's move on to the next topic, which is concealed carry. Okay. Now I'm going to roll out the full-framed revolver or full-framed service pistol, which is what this is, because I do not consider this to be a concealed carry handgun. I have concealed this gun. Okay, I've concealed it, but I don't consider it ideal. And so what I want to show you is an ideal concealed carry. Now, here is a very good ideal concealed carry pistol. All right, the SP101 is a great concealed carry pistol because it is small. It is a bit heavy, and I do holster carry this. I holster it on my side, but I can easily carry this with me. But let me show you an ideal concealed carry gun. And the ideal concealed carry gun here is the Ruger LCP. Alright, this gun, when the manufacturer sat down and said, we want to design a carry gun, this was what they came out with. Alright, this is the quintessential example of a concealed carry gun. It's thin. Okay, it's lightweight, it's small. I mean, you can see how small it is. All right, it fits right in your pocket, and you can forget about it. Okay, so this is a concealed carry gun. This one is chambered in 380 auto, 380 ACP, so it still has a fairly hefty round. Okay, the 380 is marginal, but still very, very usable as a defense round. Now, let me talk a little bit to the concealed carry arena. Okay, of firearms. When you're talking concealed carry, you're talking about a compromised pistol, okay, through and through. Is the SP101 a compromised pistol? Absolutely. The reason why is because the sights are minimal. Okay, you can see the front blade sight there on that. Let me pull the trigger back so it's a little easier to see. But as you can see, the sights are very minimal. Okay, they're not as usable as sights. That's because these pistols are really designed to be used in a short-range engagement, okay, a short-range defensive engagement. Now look at the LCP real quick here. Look at just on the side profile. See how small those sights are. Let me see if I get that darn camera to focus here. Okay, there we go. See those? Very minimal, very, very minimal. We're talking about a millimeter in height here. Okay, I've painted the front sight so that I could see it, visualize it a little bit better. These guns are designed to be fired in like a 7-yard defensive shooting. Okay, the sights are minimal. It's harder to be really, really precisely accurate with it, and because they're small, you can't get a full grip on them. Okay, I get 2 fingers on the LCP. This one, because it's so lightweight, kicks quite a bit. It's actually a lot harder kick than most people think. In fact, I almost don't even... my wife doesn't like to shoot the LCP because it kicks so hard, even though it shoots a less powerful round than the Smith & Wesson M&P. The M&P fires a 9mm, which is about twice as powerful as this round here, but it feels about a third, probably 2/3 the kick. No, probably not even that. It's probably half as much felt recoil with the M&P as the Ruger LCP. So you got to consider that that's also part of the compromise too, is the fact that it kicks a lot more, and so it's not as comfortable to shoot. All right, so when you're talking concealed carry, you're talking about something very specific. You're talking about a compromise in size, weight, capability, those kind of things, in order for it to be concealable. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. The next topic, which is, let me get my my list up here, is the range, target, or fun gun. Okay, now fun is kind of a subjective thing that I added in, but it's just something that you like to shoot, you know, just for fun. This one I think is a fun gun, but most people would not like to shoot the SP101 just because it does snap a little bit more. So let's roll these out, and let's roll in a couple examples of a range or target gun. Okay, let's pull in the Ruger Mark III. Okay, and it even says target model right at the top. This is a 22 caliber long rifle, Ruger 2245 Mark III. This is a great range or target gun. Okay, because it has a long sighting radius, it's heavy, it's easy to control, and it doesn't recoil a lot, something that you can shoot at the range all day long, put 500 rounds through, and walk away not being sore, not being upset in any way. So this is an ideal range or target gun. Okay, let me roll in another, what I consider a range target gun, is the XDM 45. This is the 4.5 inch barrel version. This also has great sighting radius. It has very, very, very nice sights. In fact, I think Springfield's stock sights are some of the best on the market. You can see them right there. Very precise, very high visibility, really, really cool. I think this is a great range or target gun. I can be very, very accurate with this gun. It doesn't punish me, even though it's a 45. It's not a very punishing recoil to it because of the way the pistol is designed and its weight. And so either of these would function in a role as a range gun. Now, one thing that I do consider a range gun, I do consider something important when you're talking about the range gun is the cost of the ammunition. This one runs about $35 to $40 per 100 rounds of just your standard full metal jacket bullets, your target bullets, okay, or target rounds. This one runs about $6, okay, $5–6 per 100. So you can shoot this a lot more, okay, at the range than you can this for the price, okay. And so that's something that when you're talking a range gun, you know, it's something to consider. Okay, I really prefer shooting, you know, a lot of 22 versus I think the most bang for your buck. I mean, the 45 is just a fantastic round to shoot. It's really, really fun. It's not necessarily fun if you're not really used to the recoil and things like that, but for the most part, you know, it's good to have a low cost range gun. Okay, just my opinion. All right, now I'm not gonna really sit on this topic a long time because there's so many different guns that you know, cover this genre. What I consider primarily important for a range gun is something larger, okay, and something that has a good sighting radius and good sights, something that you can be accurate with, okay? Because when I think range, I think of target shooting. When I think of target shooting, I think of accuracy. All right, so both of these guns fit the bill. Now, let's go. I'm going to roll off the XDM here, and I'm going to roll in the Walther P22, and because we're going to go into the next topic, or the next philosophy of use or purpose of use is the training weapon, okay, the training gun, training handgun. Here in front of you are my two prime examples of a great training gun, all right? You could also put in a 22 long-rifled revolver as well, which I don't have currently because my Ruger SP101 in 22 is I'm still waiting to get back from Ruger, okay? Repair, replacement type stuff. So, all right, so that would also be considered in this category. Now, these guns right here, training guns, when I think of training guns, I think of something that you can shoot a lot. So you want to have something that's cheaper in caliber, but you want something that functions in a similar way to the gun that you're training on, okay? Now, the Ruger Mark III, okay, doesn't necessarily fit the total bill there because it functions a little bit differently than your traditional semi-automatic. Okay, your bolt is, you pull it back here this way, so the bolt is pulled back and let go for a you know, to chamber around. Where on a normal semi-automatic, you have to whoop, sorry. My phone's going off here. On a normal semi-automatic, you have to rack the chamber, or rack the slide in order to chamber around. And so that's why I think the Walther P22 comes into play with one of the best, as one of the best training guns that you can get for a semi-automatic pistol. It functions in a double action, okay, which means that as you pull the trigger, the hammer goes back. So that's one action. The other action is that it drops the hammer. Or a single action, okay, which is when the hammer's all the way back. You can fire it that way as well. People leaving me messages here. Sorry about that. And it's also, you have to rack the slide in order to put a round in. And it has a magazine release, so it drops that magazine away. Here, this one has a really nice magazine release, which is which is kind of in a more normal position for a handgun. Okay, and this one has a thumb safety as well. Okay, so it's a great option for training. You can put a lot of rounds through downrange at low cost with both of these pistols, and they're both just really good to learn how to pull the trigger, to control your breathing, to gain your sight picture. They both have decent sights. So yeah, absolutely, either one of these would be good. Now, if you can afford, okay, to train with something like this, then that's by all means okay. But the one thing that's the downside to something with a much larger caliber is you're going to have a lot of recoil. And I find that people that don't have a lot of experience shooting, if they start off with a gun that has very little recoil, such as a .22 long rifle, then they gain a comfort level that they can then springboard off of into something larger in caliber. Okay, so great options for training. Now let's go on to the next topic, which is your Shiz Hits a Fan survival type weapon. I'm going to leave the Mark III on the table because I think that's a really good option for Shiz Hits a Fan or survival. People are going to disagree with me on the P22, but I don't really think it's the best gun for survival slash Shiz Hits a Fan. Partly because I don't think that the durability of this gun is enough to justify it. I think the caliber is fantastic. I love the .22 long rifle, but I think that there's better options out there than this P22. So I'm going to roll this out, and I roll back in the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. Because I want to talk about caliber in this, okay, to some degree. My two favorite calibers, handgun-wise, for survival situation as well as poop hits the fan, is the 9mm and the .22 long rifle. The reason why, primarily, is that both of these can be stocked for relatively cheap, okay, and they are low recoil. So if you want to have a gun, if you can just choose one gun, you want a gun that everybody can handle, okay? And the 9mm is something that just about everybody can handle to some degree, especially in a full framed pistol like this. My wife can shoot this well. My kids can even shoot this. Smaller frame people can fire this. Smaller frame people and kids can definitely handle the Mark III. So you want to have something that can be handled by everybody. Because what if you get injured? What if you are unable to what if you have the flu? What if you have diarrhea? What if you have dysentery? I mean, it just kind of depends. Like, are you going to be the only person that can actually handle the firearm that you own? Okay, and that's one thing that you need to consider when you're talking a Shiz Hits a Fan firearm or a survival type firearm. You can pack a lot of .22 with you, and so I mean I think I explained this in one of my last videos, so I'm not going to really go into it here. But these two are my choice for a Shiz Hits a Fan gun. Now, the one thing that I would replace this gun right here with, okay, that I don't have with me right now, is my SP101 in .22. Okay, it's a .22 revolver. All right, so it's the same size as this gun, but it has a 4-inch barrel on it. Okay, that's what I would choose as my ideal poop hits the fan or survival pistol, because semi-autos, you have to deal with magazines. Okay, they're detachable. There's something that can be lost, and without it, you've just turned your semi-automatic into a single shot. Okay, whereas a revolver, everything's attached. There's no parts. There's less moving parts. There's less complication there. I think a revolver over a semi-automatic in a .22 is a better way to go. Okay, without really just beating that topic or beating this philosophy of use to pieces, let's move on to the next one, which is the car slash truck gun or vehicle gun. Okay, now this is really a broad philosophy of use, because every kind of gun any gun can function in this philosophy of use. Okay, this is just having a gun to defend your vehicle from carjackers or whatnot. Now, I think there's some guns that are a little bit more suited to that, and let me roll out these guns here, and I'll roll in the ones that I feel are the most suitable for that role. Okay, when I think of a vehicle gun, I think revolver. Okay, partly because you can leave a revolver loaded without worrying about the magazine springs getting depressed or lose their function. As well as you just want something that you pick up and you go, okay? And you pick up and you fire. And I'll tell you what, nothing beats a revolver when it comes to that because of its simple design, all right? These are double action. Now, when I say revolver, I'm talking double action revolvers, double action style revolvers. Something you can just pick up, pull the trigger, boom, okay? And so I really put the revolver in the vehicle type gun. Some states will allow you to conceal a gun in your vehicle without having a concealed weapon license, and that is really where the vehicle gun shines, okay? Now, I don't have examples of what I would really consider my ideal vehicle gun, which would be the Taurus Judge, okay, and the Smith & Wesson Governor. Those two guns both fire 45 Colt and 410 shotgun, and I think those would be the ideal vehicle gun because you can fire 410 shotgun, which means you get a lot of bang and close-in capability with those. But any gun, even semi-automatics, will function as a vehicle gun. So I'm not going to really go into deep into this, but those are just my picks for a vehicle gun. All right, now the last thing I want to talk about here, the last philosophy of use, is the hunting handgun. So let me roll out the SP101. Okay, and let me roll back in the Mark III. Okay, here before you are my two ideal hunting handguns. Okay, this gun right here is chambered in the 44 Magnum. This is the Smith & Wesson Model 29. All right, it is the 44 mag. You're talking about 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. You can drop about anything you want in North America within a what's the word? Brain fart here. Within a reasonable distance. Okay, so you can drop anything. You can drop an elk, a deer, small game as well. Although this is a little overkill for a rabbit, you could still kill a rabbit. You could still eat it with the 44 mag. This is more suited for your small game hunting, such as rabbits, squirrels, birds, things like that. Okay. But what I consider, okay, a good hunting handgun, okay, the aspects, the features that you need are great sights, okay, good visibility sights, something that's long range or longer sighting radius so that you can be very accurate with it. Both of these have it. Adjustable sights, because when you're talking hunting, you want to take the most ethical shot you can. You do not want the animal to suffer. You want to be able to hit what you're shooting at. You want to be able to kill that animal very quickly and humanely, and accuracy rules the roost when it comes to hunting handguns, okay? Also, you don't want to shoot an elk in the vitals with something like a 22 because it's not going to drop him. It's not going to kill him very quickly. It's going to be very unethical, and you don't want to do that, okay? You might be able to headshot a deer or something with this at a reasonable range. But for the most part, this is something you want for your big game. Okay, so you gotta kind of understand, you know, the ins and outs. But as a hunting handgun in general, this is a great gun. Okay, both of these are because of the ability to be accurate. All right. Okay, so as we've gone along here, I'm hoping that you're seeing a little bit of a trend in the guns that we're showing. Let me just, in conclusion, what I want to do is I want to show you that each one of these guns can overlap in the various different philosophies of use. Okay, so how many times did I roll in the Mark III? Quite a few, right? So this is a great gun for shiz hits a fan. It's a great gun for survival. Great gun for training, and it's a great gun for hunting small game. Okay, could it also be a gun that could be used in home defense? Sure, it could. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of 22 long rifle as your primary defensive gun, but it still would work. It's still very lethal. Depending on the ammunition you use, it could be very effective as a self-defense or a home defense gun. So it overlaps these different roles. Could it be used as a concealed carry? Probably not. I mean, be honest, it's really just not a concealed carry gun. Could you open carry this? Yeah, with the right magazine or with the right holster, you could open carry it for sure. Okay, so it covers a lot of different categories. All right, it doesn't cover them all, and it doesn't cover them all ideally. There's some that are more ideal than others that this fits in, but that's kind of the idea. Okay, what about the the M&P 9. Could this be used as a home defense? Yes, I think that's where its primary role is. It could be an open carry gun. You could conceal it. It's not ideal for that. You could use it as a range target gun because it has great sights and it's good sight radius. It's a good fun gun. You could use it as a shiz hits a fan gun because it's the 9mm. I like that a lot. Not saying that you can't use other calibers for that, but that's just my preference. It's reliable for that as well. You could use it as a truck or a car gun, and you could use this as a hunting handgun. Depending on what you want to hunt, it's more for small game, things like that, but it's definitely something that you could use. So it fits a lot of, in fact, I think the full-framed 9mm is one of the most versatile guns that you can buy. Okay, let's roll in the, let's just roll in the Model 29 here, the Smith & Wesson. Is this a great home defense gun? Oh yeah, you could use this as home defense for sure. Could you use it as a concealed carry? No. Nope. What about open carry? You bet. What about range gun? Yeah, this has great sights. It's very accurate. Definitely you could use it as a range gun. It will beat you up a lot, so you're not going to be putting a lot of rounds through it, but 44 specials would be really nice for this. Could it use it as a shiz hits a fan gun? Yeah, you could. If you want to stock 44 Magnum or 44 Special, you could definitely do that. It could be used as a truck gun, and it's definitely ideal for a hunting handgun. Okay, so it covers those different genres. Let's roll in the LCP. Okay, is this a good home defense gun? No, I don't think so. You could use it as home defense. Great, ideal concealed carry. Open carry, I don't even know if you could get enough of the gun to show to qualify for open carry. No, you could. A range gun? No, I don't think so. What about training gun? I don't think so either. What about shiz hits a fan? I wouldn't. And what about truck gun? Yeah, you could use it as a truck gun. Hunting gun? No, absolutely not. So you see that there are some types of firearms that are just not as suitable as others. Okay, and that is kind of the idea that I want you to take away from this video with, is the fact that some guns are more capable and have a larger genre of of philosophies or purposes of use than others. And so when you're making your choice, okay, when you're asking yourself, what is my ideal gun? What do I want to accomplish with this gun? What is my philosophy or purpose of use? Consider the fact that some guns will cover more categories than others. And so that's the one thing I want you to pull away from this video. And so anyway, guys, hopefully that you found this interesting. Part 2 is going to be annotated up in the top right corner of the video, as well as it'll be down in the description box below. And so feel free to watch the next part of this video. And if you guys feel free to rate and subscribe, leave your comments, your questions down below. And if you'd like to favorite this video, I'd really appreciate it. It does help the video out, and it helps the channel out as well. So helps us grow and helps us get more videos out to you. So thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. See ya.